In this module, we will look at how to set up your gradebook in Moodle. To begin, we'll click on the Grades area under the Administration block. And notice it is opening up to your grader report. This will be your spreadsheet once we have our categories and our activities created in Moodle. To begin, you want to scroll up to the block or the drop-down menu in the top left corner. Click on Choose an Action, and then from the Categories and Items section, we're going to select Full View. This is your Edit Categories and Items screen, and you can see at the top that I have the overall name of my gradebook. So it's my course name, and the aggregation for my overall gradebook is set at a simple weighted mean of grades. And by default, that's going to be the setting, but we can change that to any aggregation that we want to set it at. I'm going to select a weighted mean of grades because I have 3 categories and I want to weight each one individually. For more information on the aggregation types, you can refer to the handout or to the resource that's listed under the grades area in the Moodle Basics course. To add a new category, I'm going to click on Add Category. And as you're working through this, you'll want to have your syllabus handy so that you can set up your gradebook exactly as your syllabus grading scale is set up. My first category is going to be assignments. And in my assignments category, I'm going to set the aggregation for a mean of grades. And in this one, I'm going to use mean of grades because everything is worth 100 points, and I just wanted to take an average or a mean of all of the grades that are in the category. I'm going to leave the aggregate only non-empty grades on, and what this is going to do is when it is configuring the category total, it will not include any grades that have not been entered. So for example, if a student does not submit a grade, you will need to go in and enter a 0 so that that grade can be included in the overall total category. If you want to drop the lowest grade, you can select the number of lowest grades that you want to drop. I'm not going to drop any, so I'll leave that at none. And if you scroll down a little bit, we will see a few items. I do not want to enter an item name for this because I want it to say category total. If I enter an item name there, it will change the category total from saying category total to whatever you enter there. And this often becomes confusing when it's changed. The grade type, I want to have it displayed as a value, so I will leave that as it is. I'm not going to change the maximum grade or the minimum grade. I'm going to leave that as it is. You can set your grade display type if you want it to display as a real number, or if you want to see a letter or the percentage, or if you want to see a combination of those. You can also set the number of decimal points that you want to include in your grade. By default, it is set at 2. If you wanted it to be in whole numbers, you can change it to 0. The next few items have to do with making it visible, and it's probably best to leave everything as the default. When you start hiding things and locking grades or categories, it's going to interfere with you entering grades into the gradebook, especially if you lock a category. If a category is locked, that means you cannot enter any grades until it is unlocked. Once you have all your changes put in, click on Save Changes, and you can see this is going to create my first category. I have 2 other categories that I'm going to create, a quizzes category and a discussion forum. So I will go ahead and create those now. So I'm going to create my quizzes category, and again I'm going to use a weighted mean of grades, and I'll leave everything else as the default, and I'll click on Save Changes, and I'm going to create my last category, which is my discussion forum. Again, I'm going to use a mean of grades and then click on Save Changes. So now that I'm back at my main category page, I can go in and enter the weights for each of my categories. And this is why I said it's important to have your syllabus with you, because you can enter your grades in as they are listed. And I see here that my quizzes did not carry over the mean of grade, so I'll just change that there. You can also change, as we just did, the aggregation for each category on this screen as well. So if you look over to the right, you'll see the weight category. And so the weight category is looking at the weight of the individual categories in the overall gradebook. So for my assignments, these are worth 30% of my grades. I'll enter 30 there. Quizzes are worth 50%. And my discussion forums are going to be worth 20%. And so again, we should have a total of 100%. If I click on Save Changes, you'll notice that it's totaled everything up. And once you have everything put in, now you're ready to go in and begin building the activities in your course.